Welcome back. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that millions of Americans have touched over the decades, yet only a few collectors truly understand its story and potential value. What if I told you that one small copper disc, a Lincoln penny from 1970 with a D mint mark, could hide secrets that make it highly sought after in the world of rare coins? By the end of this video, you might be looking at your spare change a little differently, wondering if a tiny treasure has been sitting in your pocket all along. The 1970 D Lincoln penny is one of those coins that seems ordinary at first glance. It's a 1-cent coin, part of the iconic Lincoln cent series that has been in continuous production since 1909. This particular coin was minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D stamped below the date on the front of the coin. For most people, it's just another penny, but for collectors, every detail matters. From the metal composition to subtle variations and potential errors that could significantly increase its value. To understand why this penny is so intriguing, we need to look back at its history. By 1970, the United States had been producing the Lincoln cent for over 60 years. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin originally commemorated the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Brenner's design, featuring Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the wheat stalks on the reverse for the early series, became a symbol of American currency, enduring through decades of economic change. In 1970, the Lincoln penny was still made primarily of copper. Unlike the modern pennies that contain mostly zinc, the 1970 D penny has a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This heavier, richer metal gives the coin a distinctive feel that older collectors can instantly recognize. The 1970 D penny may appear ordinary, but it carries unique features that make it a point of interest. On the front or obverse, you see Lincoln's profile facing right, with the word Liberty etched to his left and the date on his right. The D mint mark is positioned just below the date, confirming it was minted in Denver. The reverse of the coin features the familiar Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to replace the wheat ears. While most of these coins were struck perfectly, there are rare instances of errors that make specific 1970 D pennies exceptionally valuable. One of the most famous is the double die obverse. In this type of error, the coin appears to have a slight doubling of the date or lettering, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment. Coins with this error are highly collectible and can fetch prices far above their face value, especially in higher grades. So why is the 1970 D penny considered rare or valuable? In general, most pennies from this year are common and hold little monetary value beyond their metal content. However, the key to rarity lies in condition and error varieties. Collectors look for coins that have been preserved exceptionally well, with minimal wear and a strong, clear strike. In addition, error coins like the double die obverse, or even less common variations in the mint mark placement, create scarcity. The combination of age, copper content, and potential errors make some 1970 D pennies highly desirable, especially to those who focus on Lincoln cents or error coin collections. To illustrate this, consider some real-world examples. In auctions, a standard 1970 D penny in circulated condition might sell for just a few cents above face value, usually between 10 and 50 cents depending on quality. However, a 1970 D double die obverse in mint state, with sharp doubling visible on the date or the lettering, can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars from collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents. There have even been instances where rare error coins in exceptional condition have sold for over $1,000 at high-end auctions. These sales are not everyday occurrences, but they highlight how a seemingly ordinary coin can transform into a collector's prize. Identifying a real 1970 D penny, especially one with a potential error, requires a careful eye. First, examine the date and mint mark closely. For a genuine 1970 D penny, the D should be small but distinct, positioned neatly below the date. Look for any doubling in the numbers or lettering, particularly on coins suspected to have the double die error. It is also important to verify the coin's composition. Real 1970 D pennies are heavy and made of mostly copper, giving them a distinct weight compared to modern zinc pennies. Counterfeit or altered coins can sometimes mimic errors, so magnification tools like a jeweler's loupe are essential. When in doubt, consulting a professional coin grader or a reputable numismatist can help ensure authenticity before making a purchase or sale. Beyond errors and value, There are fun facts and surprising details about the 1970 penny that make it interesting to collectors. This coin was produced during a time of significant change in America, amid the Vietnam War and social transformation, making it a small piece of history in every sense. The coin's copper composition is also environmentally significant, as later pennies transitioned to mostly zinc due to rising copper costs. Some collectors even enjoy the tactile satisfaction of holding a copper penny, noting how it develops a natural patina over time, giving each coin a unique appearance. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse is another fascinating feature. Look closely, and you can see the tiny statue of Lincoln engraved inside the memorial, a detail that many casual observers overlook. Collectors love the 1970 Lincoln penny today because it represents both accessibility and potential. Unlike some extremely rare coins that are nearly impossible to find, 1970 pennies are still available in circulation and from collectors' holdings. This makes them an entry point for new coin enthusiasts, while the rare varieties and high-grade examples keep seasoned collectors engaged. The story of a small coin that has traveled decades, witnessing history and bearing subtle mistakes that transform it into a treasure, is exactly what draws people into numismatics. Every time a collector flips a 1970 penny, they are reminded that even the smallest items can hold great value and historical significance. If you ever stumble upon a 1970 penny in your wallet or coin jar, take a moment to examine it. You might discover details that others have overlooked, from a clear mint mark to tiny doubling in the numbers. It's a coin that encourages curiosity, attention to detail, and appreciation for the craftsmanship that went into its creation. The next time you drop a penny into a jar or pocket, remember that it could hold secrets worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. In the end, the 1970 Lincoln penny is more than just a 1-cent coin. It is a small piece of American history, a potential treasure for collectors, and a symbol of how ordinary objects can become extraordinary through age, detail, and rarity. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or someone who casually enjoys coins, this penny invites you to explore, observe, and maybe even dream about the value hidden in plain sight. Keep your eyes open, your hands steady, and your curiosity alive. You never know when a simple coin from 1970, stamped in Denver, might reveal its secrets and become the highlight of your collection. And as you continue to explore the world of coins, remember this. Sometimes the most unassuming pieces of metal carry stories that span decades, stories that can surprise you, educate you, and maybe even change the way you think about the pennies you pass by every day. The 1970 Lincoln penny is one such story, waiting for anyone willing to look closely, ask questions, and appreciate the hidden wonders in a small, copper disc. Every coin has a tale, and this one's might just be one of the most fascinating you've ever held. Welcome back. Imagine holding a small, seemingly ordinary coin in your hand, one that looks just like the pennies you've been using for decades. But what if I told you that this little piece of copper could carry a story that stretches back over 40 years? A story that makes it a sought-after treasure for coin collectors across the United States. Today, we're diving deep into the 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that at first glance might appear simple, yet carries a rich history and unique characteristics that make it stand out in the world of numismatics. Whether you've stumbled upon one in your change, inherited a jar of old coins, or you're a seasoned collector looking to understand the subtleties of rare Lincoln pennies, this coin has a story worth exploring. The 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is part of a long lineage that traces back to one of America's most iconic figures, President Abraham Lincoln. The Lincoln cent itself was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. It was a revolutionary design at the time, as it was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than symbolic representations of liberty. The 1975 penny continues this tradition, carrying the familiar portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been in use since 1959, marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. BY 1975, the penny had become a staple of American life, yet it was produced during a period of interesting transition. The United States Mint was experimenting with production efficiency and material composition due to rising metal costs. Although most Lincoln pennies were fairly standard, a keen eye reveals subtle variations and details that make certain coins stand out. The 1975 penny was struck primarily at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it lacks a mint mark. The absence of a mint mark on a coin can sometimes create confusion, as it simply indicates the origin, yet in collector circles, these coins carry specific traits that can influence value. The 1975 no mint mark penny is composed mostly of copper, with a small percentage of zinc. This composition was standard for the Lincoln cent at the time, making it relatively sturdy and giving it that characteristic reddish-brown hue that collectors often admire. The obverse shows a detailed and dignified portrait of Abraham Lincoln, his profile calm yet commanding, while the reverse presents the Lincoln Memorial with clear, fine lines that capture the grandeur of the structure. What makes this coin particularly interesting to collectors are certain die varieties and production anomalies that occasionally appear. Slight doubling of the date or subtle variations in the lettering can indicate a unique strike, which, although often unnoticed by casual observers, can significantly increase a coin's appeal. So, why is the 1975 no mint mark Lincoln penny considered collectible or even rare in certain forms? The key lies in scarcity and condition. While millions of pennies were minted in 1975, most circulated heavily, accumulating wear and losing much of their original luster. A coin that has survived over 40 years with minimal wear, a full red color, and sharp details is far more desirable than one that shows the typical signs of circulation. In addition, coins with certain minting errors, such as double dies or die cracks, are extremely rare and highly prized by collectors. These errors were the result of minor inconsistencies during the striking process at the Philadelphia Mint, and they turn an otherwise ordinary penny into a miniature piece of history. For those interested in real-world value, auction results provide some perspective. A standard 1975 no mint mark penny in circulated condition might be worth only a few cents to a casual seller, reflecting its common nature. However, coins that have retained their original red luster, often graded as MS 65 or higher by professional grading services, can fetch significantly more. Exceptional specimens, particularly those exhibiting rare die varieties or minting errors, have been known to sell for hundreds of dollars in private sales or specialized numismatic auctions. These examples illustrate the principle that condition, rarity, and uniqueness are the primary drivers of value in coin collecting. Even within a single year's mintage, the difference between a common circulated penny and a high-grade collectible can be astonishing. Identifying an authentic 1975 no mint mark Lincoln penny is fairly straightforward for those who know what to look for. The first step is examining the coin's weight and dimensions. Genuine pennies from this era weigh approximately 3.11 grams and have a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. The color should be a warm reddish-brown, though circulation may darken it over time. Closely inspect the date and lettering on both the obverse and reverse. Sharp, well-defined details are a hallmark of higher quality coins, while blurred or inconsistent lines may indicate wear or, in rare cases, counterfeiting. For those interested in the subtle die varieties, magnification tools can reveal tiny doubling in the date or letters, a feature that can dramatically increase a coin's desirability and value. Professional grading services are recommended for anyone seeking to confirm authenticity and assign a market-recognized grade. Beyond value, there are fascinating details that make the 1975 penny historically interesting. For example, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse contains a tiny statue of Lincoln in the center, visible only upon close inspection. This miniature representation adds an extra layer of artistry to a coin that many might consider mundane. Additionally, the mid-1970s were a period of economic change in the United States, with rising metal costs prompting the mint to experiment with different compositions in other coin denominations. While the penny remained largely copper-based in 1975, these economic pressures influenced minting practices and quality control, contributing to the subtle variations that collectors now seek. Collectors today appreciate the 1975 no mint mark Lincoln penny for its combination of accessibility and hidden potential. Unlike extremely rare pennies from the early 20th century, many people have encountered a 1975 penny at some point, making it a relatable piece of history. At the same time, the possibility of uncovering a high-grade specimen or a rare die variety creates a sense of excitement and discovery. It's a coin that connects everyday Americans with history, showing how even small, commonplace objects can carry stories spanning decades. Collectors often enjoy hunting through rolls of change or inherited coin collections in search of these hidden gems, appreciating both the artistry and the thrill of finding something valuable. In addition to its collectible aspects, the 1975 penny serves as a cultural snapshot. It reflects the design sensibilities of the mid-1970s, the technological capabilities of the mint, and the enduring reverence for Abraham Lincoln in American society. Its continued popularity among collectors is a testament to the way numismatics blends history, art, and personal discovery. Every scratch, patina, or imperfection tells a story, whether about how it was used in daily life or how it survived decades of handling and storage. For enthusiasts, each coin is a tangible connection to the past, a reminder that history isn't confined to textbooks but lives and objects we can hold in our hands. As you explore the world of coin collecting, the 1975 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny offers a perfect starting point. It's approachable yet full of potential surprises. It demonstrates how careful observation can transform an everyday object into a collectible treasure. From the elegant details of Lincoln's portrait to the tiny, almost hidden features in the Lincoln Memorial, every aspect tells a part of the story. And for those willing to hunt, study, and learn, there's always the possibility of discovering a coin with a rare error or exceptional condition that turns a simple penny into a highly sought-after collectible. In the end, the 1975 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just copper and zinc. It's a piece of American history, a bridge between generations, and a reminder that even the smallest objects can hold extraordinary stories. Whether you're a casual observer holding a coin from your childhood or a dedicated collector seeking that rare find, this penny has a quiet magic. Keep an eye on your change, examine your inherited coins carefully, and you might just find that a 1975 Lincoln penny is waiting to reveal its secrets. Every coin has a story, and sometimes the most unassuming ones hold the greatest surprises. The next time you glance at a penny, remember that it could be more than spare change. It could be a key to history, a collector's dream, or even a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered if it could be worth far more than its face value? Imagine a single penny, barely larger than a thumb, quietly sitting in circulation, yet hiding a story and potential treasure that could surprise even the most seasoned collectors. Today, we're going to explore one of the most intriguing coins in American numismatics, the 1984 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a piece that might be hiding in your pocket or in a jar at home, waiting to be discovered. The 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just a 1-cent piece. On the surface, it looks like any ordinary penny. It features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president, on the obverse or front side. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been standard since 1959, replacing the classic wheat ears design that dated back to the original 1909 centennial issue. At first glance, it seems simple, common, and everyday. But within this simplicity lies a fascinating history and subtle features that make this coin worth a closer look. The year 1984 was a significant time in U.S. coin production. The United States Mint produced coins in Philadelphia and Denver, as well as in San Francisco for collectors. A penny without a mint mark indicates it was struck in Philadelphia. During this period, the Mint was experimenting with different production methods, striving for efficiency while also maintaining high-quality coinage. The 1984 penny is primarily composed of copper, with a small amount of zinc, a composition that had been standard since 1982. In fact, 1982 was the transition year when pennies shifted from being mostly copper to predominantly zinc with a thin copper plating. The 1984 no-mint mark penny continues this post-1982 trend, making it slightly lighter than the older all-copper pennies, yet still carrying the iconic reddish hue that many collectors cherish. While the design itself isn't radically different from earlier Lincoln pennies, subtle variations and production quirks make this coin fascinating to collectors. One notable aspect of the 1984 penny is the presence of certain die varieties. During the minting process, small imperfections in the dies can create doubled images or slight distortions, often referred to as doubling. For example, the date, the letters in Liberty, or the words "In God We Trust" may appear slightly doubled under close examination. These small anomalies are not defects in the coin itself, but rather unique fingerprints of the minting process. Coins exhibiting these features are especially sought after, as they are limited by the number of dies that produce them and the short duration these imperfections persisted. Another point of interest is the coin's weight and composition. The 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, the standard for pennies after the 1982 switch. This composition gives the coin a slightly different feel in the hand compared to older copper coins. Sharp-eyed collectors often note the subtle color difference as well. Newer zinc-based pennies tend to have a paler, almost rose gold tone when freshly minted. While casual observers might dismiss these details, serious collectors know that composition and subtle design variations can dramatically affect a coin's rarity and value. Why is this particular penny considered rare by some collectors? The truth is that most 1984 pennies are common, but the no-mint mark variety carries a few special considerations. Certain coins from this year were struck on off-center dies, or with unusually strong or weak strike impressions. These anomalies make each coin unique, and coins in pristine, uncirculated condition with these characteristics can command a premium in the collector market. Even a coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye can turn out to be a valuable gem if it has the right features. Numismatists often seek coins with perfect luster, sharp detail on Lincoln's hair and beard, and strong relief on the Lincoln Memorial columns. Coins meeting these criteria are rare because most pennies enter circulation, sustain scratches, or lose their original shine. Real auction examples show just how valuable a 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny can be. A standard circulated example might be worth only a few cents above face value, but a well-preserved uncirculated coin can fetch anywhere from $5 to $20, depending on condition and eye appeal. If the coin exhibits a desirable die variety or minting anomaly, prices can rise significantly. There have been documented cases where coins with pronounced doubling or a notable off-center strike have sold for several $100s at specialized coin auctions. These coins are not just money, they are tangible pieces of history, capturing the care, technology, and artistry of the United States Mint at a particular moment in time. Identifying a real 1984 no-mint mark penny is not difficult, but it does require careful observation. First, check the mint mark area. A genuine Philadelphia penny from 1984 will have no mint mark below the date. This absence is normal and not a sign of error. Next, examine the details under magnification. Look at Lincoln's profile. His beard, hair, and coat lapel should be well defined. On the reverse, the columns of the Lincoln Memorial should show clear lines, and the inscriptions should be sharp. Be cautious of coins that appear too perfect. Counterfeiters sometimes try to replicate valuable die varieties, and slight inconsistencies in metal composition or edge detail can be giveaways. Using a reputable scale to measure weight can also help. A true 1984 penny weighs approximately 2.5 grams, reflecting its zinc-heavy composition. With careful examination, collectors can confidently distinguish authentic coins from imitations. Beyond the technical details, there are a number of fun and surprising facts about this penny. For instance, the Lincoln penny design, first issued in 1909, was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. By 1984, the coin had been in continuous production for 75 years, making it an enduring symbol of American history. Another interesting point is the coin's widespread circulation. Billions of pennies were minted in 1984, yet the coins that survive in pristine condition are far fewer than one might expect. This scarcity adds an element of treasure-hunting excitement for collectors. Some even enjoy the challenge of searching through rolls of pennies at banks, hoping to spot a gem that has gone unnoticed for decades. Collectors love the 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny today for several reasons. Its combination of historical significance, subtle design features, and the potential for rare die varieties makes it appealing to both novice and experienced numismatists. The coin represents a moment in American history when the mint was transitioning to new materials, yet still honoring tradition. Its portability, affordability, and the thrill of discovery make it a favorite for coin enthusiasts who enjoy studying details, comparing variations, and building meaningful collections. Unlike modern coins that often feel mass-produced, this penny carries with it the story of the people who made it, the technology used to produce it, and the decades it has survived in circulation. In the end, the 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is more than a piece of copper-plated zinc. It is a connection to the past, a symbol of the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and a reminder that even the smallest objects can hold great significance. Whether you are a casual collector, a history enthusiast, or someone who simply enjoys the thrill of finding something special among everyday items, this coin invites curiosity, careful observation, and a sense of wonder. The next time you handle a penny, consider that it might not be just a penny at all. It could be a piece of history, quietly waiting to reveal its secrets, and perhaps even surprise you with its value. So take a closer look at your coins, and remember that sometimes the most ordinary objects hide extraordinary stories. Who knows? Among the coins in your drawer or your pocket, the next rare 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be waiting, ready to turn a simple collection into something remarkable, sparking curiosity, excitement, and a deeper appreciation for the coins that have quietly shaped American life for more than a century. Welcome back. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that millions of Americans used every day. Yet this small piece of copper and zinc could be worth far more than its face value. Today, we are diving into the world of the 1985 Lincoln penny, a coin that at first glance might look ordinary, but for collectors and history enthusiasts, it holds stories, surprises, and even opportunities for a serious treasure hunt. If you've ever wondered how something as simple as a penny could capture attention and spark curiosity, this is the coin to know. The 1985 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running series of 1-cent coins featuring Abraham Lincoln, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of his birth. The D Mint mark tells us it was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the United States' primary coin-producing facilities. Although the penny is small in size, the history it carries is enormous. Over the decades, Lincoln pennies have become more than just currency. They are collectible windows into American history, reflecting changes in production techniques, metals, and even design choices. In 1985, the United States was experiencing economic growth under the Reagan administration, and coins like the Lincoln cent were produced in massive quantities to keep up with everyday commerce. The Denver Mint alone struck hundreds of millions of pennies that year, most of which entered circulation with little thought given to their future collectability. But while the majority of these coins ended up in jars, wallets, or cash registers, some found their way into the hands of collectors, setting the stage for intrigue decades later. The Lincoln penny itself is notable for its enduring design. On the obverse, or front, you see a detailed profile of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB appear subtly at the bottom of the coin. This design has remained remarkably consistent for over a century, becoming one of the most recognizable images in American numismatics. On the reverse, in 1985, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a tribute that first appeared in 1959 to honor Lincoln's 150th birthday. Small details, like the tiny depiction of the statue inside the memorial, can be surprisingly important to collectors who examine coins under magnification. The metal composition of the 1985 penny is primarily copper, about 95%, with the remaining 5% made up of zinc. This composition was standard for pennies until 1982, when rising copper prices led the U.S. Mint to introduce mostly zinc cores with a thin copper plating. By 1985, most pennies still had the predominantly copper composition, but the transition was recent enough that collectors pay close attention to the exact weight and feel of the coin. Any deviation can hint at errors, experimental issues, or even counterfeit attempts. Speaking of errors, the 1985 Lincoln penny has its own set of quirks that can make it highly desirable. While most coins are struck perfectly, production mistakes can create anomalies. For the 1985 penny, known errors include double dies, where the image appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the die-making process. Some coins also show striking defects such as off-center images or weak strikes, where parts of Lincoln's face or the memorial on the reverse are faint. These errors are rare and can dramatically increase the coin's value for collectors who seek unusual examples that stand out from the millions of standard pennies. Now, why would anyone consider a 1985 penny rare or valuable when so many were minted? The truth is, rarity in coin collecting is not just about the number produced. It's about survival and condition. Coins that have remained in pristine, uncirculated condition are far less common than those that have been dropped, scratched, or worn by daily use. In grading terms, a coin in mint state condition, showing no signs of wear, can command significantly higher prices than a typical circulated penny. To give you an idea of market value, auction results and collector sales can range widely. A standard circulated 1985 D penny might be worth just a few cents above face value, but an uncirculated example, especially one with a perfect strike and no blemishes, can fetch several dollars. If you're lucky enough to find a coin with a genuine double die or other rare error, prices can jump into the hundreds of dollars, sometimes even more depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition. Serious collectors monitor online auctions, coin shows, and private sales, looking for these rare gems that carry both historical and monetary value. But how can you be sure that a 1985 D Lincoln penny in your possession is authentic and potentially valuable? The first step is visual inspection. Look for the D mint mark, which should be sharply defined, and compare the coin's design details to reference images. Check the weight. An authentic copper-based penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. Magnification can reveal small errors or die variations, such as doubling on the letters or numbers, which is nearly impossible to replicate accurately in counterfeits. For serious evaluation, professional grading services can certify the coin's authenticity and condition, providing a recognized standard that can significantly influence its market value. Beyond its technical features, the 1985 D penny has some fun and surprising details that often go unnoticed. For example, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, while appearing simple at first glance, contains a tiny image of the statue of Lincoln himself, a detail that is invisible without careful inspection. Collectors also enjoy hunting for subtle variations in the font of the date or the spacing between letters, small nuances that can differentiate a common coin from one that is highly sought after. Some enthusiasts even track coins that have unusual luster or toning, natural changes in color over time, which can give each coin a unique personality. Collectors love the 1985 D Lincoln penny today because it represents a balance between accessibility and potential for discovery. Unlike extremely rare coins that few can ever own, a 1985 D penny is still within reach of most collectors, yet it carries enough historical depth and variability to make collecting it exciting. Each coin tells a story of American life in the mid-1980s, from the economy and metal composition to the everyday hands it passed through. Collecting these pennies allows enthusiasts to connect with history in a tangible way, appreciating the artistry, precision, and occasional serendipity that make coin collecting such a rewarding hobby. In addition, the appeal of this penny is amplified by the thrill of the hunt. Even seasoned collectors never know what they might find in a batch of loose change, a box of coins from a bank, or a collection that has been passed down through generations. The possibility of uncovering a rare double die or a flawless uncirculated specimen adds a layer of excitement, blending history, art, and a hint of fortune. It's a reminder that even the smallest objects can hold extraordinary stories, waiting for the right eyes to recognize their significance. As we wrap up, consider this. The next time you glance at a penny, especially one minted in 1985 with a small D beneath the date, you might be holding more than a simple piece of copper and zinc. You could be holding a fragment of history, a testament to one of America's most beloved presidents, and potentially a hidden treasure. Whether you are a casual observer, a history enthusiast, or a dedicated collector, the 1985 D Lincoln penny invites curiosity, careful study, and a deeper appreciation for the everyday objects that quietly carry our past forward. Keep an eye out, examine closely, and remember that sometimes the most remarkable stories come in the smallest forms. The 1985 D Lincoln penny is one of those stories, quietly waiting for someone to notice, appreciate, and maybe even add it to a treasured collection. History, artistry, rarity, and the thrill of discovery all come together in this small coin, proving that in the world of numismatics, even a penny can hold extraordinary value. So next time you reach into your pocket, think twice before tossing a penny aside. Among them, there may be one with a story, a mystery, and a value far beyond what meets the eye. The 1985 D Lincoln penny is more than money. It's a piece of living history, and for those who recognize it, a chance to connect with the past while enjoying the excitement of collecting today. Welcome back. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that millions of people have used every day, yet hidden among them is a piece that could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars to the right collector. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating finds in modern American coinage, the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. At first glance, it might look like any ordinary penny, but if you pay attention, you'll discover there's a story behind this seemingly simple piece of metal, a story that has captured the curiosity of coin enthusiasts and collectors across the country. The 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is part of a long lineage of pennies honoring America's 16th president, Abraham Lincoln. Introduced in 1909 to mark Lincoln's 100th birthday, the Lincoln cent has become one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. The obverse of the coin features a profile portrait of Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, and it has remained largely unchanged for over a century. The reverse, showing the Lincoln Memorial, was introduced in 1959, replacing the original wheat ears design that had been used since 1909. This penny represents not just a small unit of currency but a slice of American history, a daily reminder of Lincoln's enduring legacy. In 1991, the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies for circulation. Most of these coins were made in Philadelphia, marked with no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a D. The Philadelphia coins, in particular, are the ones we focus on today because their lack of a mint mark makes them easily overlooked. Millions of these pennies pass through hands, pockets, and cash registers, quietly moving across the nation, often unnoticed. Yet within this immense production, certain variations, errors, and high-quality specimens have created opportunities for collectors to discover something truly special. The 1991 penny is made primarily of zinc, coated with a thin layer of copper. This composition, used since 1982, allows for everyday durability while keeping production costs low. The obverse displays Lincoln's right-facing profile, finely detailed with his characteristic beard and serious expression. You can see the designer's initials, VDB, subtly placed at the base of Lincoln's shoulder, a signature detail that ties back to the original 1909 design. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, with tiny engravings of the statue visible if you look closely, demonstrating the mint's remarkable precision in coin design. While the 1991 penny may appear standard, some coins from this year exhibit minor errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or weak lettering, which can make a common coin exceptionally collectible. So what makes the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny particularly interesting to collectors? The answer lies in rarity and condition. Although millions were minted, many were spent, worn, or damaged over the past 3 decades. Coins that have survived in near-perfect condition, especially those graded at the highest levels by professional grading services, are highly sought after. Certain error coins from this year, like double dies or coins with die cracks, are even rarer and can command premium prices. Collectors are always on the lookout for these unusual examples because they represent a combination of historical significance and scarcity. The two factors that drive coin collecting value. To give you a sense of the market, let's look at some real-world examples. A standard 1991 Philadelphia penny in circulated condition might only be worth its face value of 1 cent. However, uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, can fetch anywhere from $5 to $20. Error coins or rare variations can dramatically increase the price. For instance, a 1991 no-mint mark penny with a slight doubling of the date or letters might sell for hundreds of dollars at auction. Some truly exceptional specimens, certified by professional services like PCGS or NGC, have even reached prices over $1,000. These numbers show that even a coin minted just 30 years ago can hold surprising value for collectors who know what to look for. Identifying a genuine 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is straightforward once you know the details, but careful observation is key. Start by checking for the absence of a mint mark above the date, confirming that it was produced in Philadelphia. Examine the date closely to ensure it matches the standard font and spacing used by the mint in 1991. Look at Lincoln's profile and the details on the memorial. Sharper, more precise features often indicate an uncirculated coin. Be cautious with error claims. Many pennies are altered or cleaned to mimic rare errors, so relying on professional grading and verification is essential if you plan to buy, sell, or collect these coins. For collectors, this verification is not just about authenticity but also about preserving the coin's potential value. Beyond the technical details, there are some fun and surprising facts about the Lincoln penny that make it endlessly fascinating. Did you know that the Lincoln cent is the longest-running coin design in U.S. history, surpassing the Indian head cent, the Buffalo nickel, and even the Mercury dime in longevity? The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse is so detailed that if you look closely at a coin from 1959 onward, you can see a tiny representation of the statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial. And although the 1991 penny was minted in enormous quantities, very few examples have survived in perfect, uncirculated condition, making each one a miniature time capsule from the early 1990s. Collectors often enjoy the thrill of discovering these small treasures in rolls of change, a moment of excitement in an ordinary day. Collectors love the 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny today because it combines accessibility with the potential for discovery. Unlike coins from the 1800s, these pennies are still within reach, yet they can hold unexpected value. They appeal to new collectors who want to start building a collection without enormous investment, as well as seasoned numismatists searching for rare varieties and high-grade examples. There's a sense of connection to American history, to the mint's craftsmanship, and to the legacy of Lincoln himself. Every coin tells a story, and finding a pristine 1991 no-mint mark penny is like finding a piece of that story that has been preserved almost perfectly through time. If you take a moment to look closely at the coins in your own pocket or jar, you might be surprised by what you find. The 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny reminds us that history is not always in textbooks or museums. Sometimes it's right in the palm of your hand, waiting to be noticed. Whether you are a casual collector or a serious numismatist, this coin invites you to slow down, examine, and appreciate the small details that make everyday objects extraordinary. Imagine the thrill of discovering a coin that looks ordinary but turns out to be a rare treasure. That moment of discovery, of connecting with history through something as simple as a penny, is what keeps collectors coming back year after year. So next time you come across a shiny copper coin in your change, take a closer look. Check for the date, examine Lincoln's profile, and see if it might just be one of those special 1991 no-mint mark pennies. Even in a world dominated by digital currency, there is something magical about holding a piece of history, a coin that has traveled through countless hands and witnessed decades of American life. You never know, the coin sitting quietly in your pocket could be the next exciting find for a collector, a hidden story waiting to be told. Keep your eyes open, your mind curious, and your collection growing, because every penny has a story, and some pennies are more remarkable than we ever imagined. Welcome back. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that millions of people passed by without noticing, yet it quietly hides a story that could turn an ordinary penny into a collector's treasure. One small, seemingly simple coin has captured the attention of enthusiasts, numismatists, and even casual collectors alike. This is the 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that at first glance looks just like any other penny, but its subtle details and unique circumstances make it a fascinating piece of modern American coinage history. If you've ever wondered whether a coin sitting in your pocket could be worth much more than its face value, the story of this penny might surprise you. The 2003 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running series of 1-cent coins that feature Abraham Lincoln on the obverse or front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had been standard from 1959 until 2008. At first glance, this coin seems ordinary. It is copper-plated zinc, with a shiny reddish-brown hue, and bears the familiar image of America's 16th president. But there's something about the coins minted in 2003, especially those without a mint mark, that has sparked interest in the collecting community. To understand why, we need to take a step back and look at the context in which this coin was produced. In 2003, the United States Mint continued its long tradition of producing Lincoln cents in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Typically, coins produced at Philadelphia did not bear a mint mark, whereas those from Denver carried a small D under the date, and San Francisco coins bore an S. The absence of a mint mark can sometimes be a simple detail, but in certain years and with certain coins, it can be a significant factor for collectors. The 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was produced at the Philadelphia Mint during a time when demand for pennies was high, and the mint was experimenting with production to meet circulation needs. The design of the coin itself carries historical significance. On the front, Abraham Lincoln's portrait faces right, an image based on a sculpted bust by Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909 to mark Lincoln's 100th birthday. The inscription "In God We Trust" sits above Lincoln's head, while "Liberty" appears to his left, and the year, 2003, to his right. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial dominates the center, a tribute to the National Monument in Washington, D.C., with the words "United States of America" and 1 cent encircling the monument. Between 1959 and 2008, this design symbolized not only the legacy of Lincoln but also the pride and continuity of American coinage. The metal composition of the 2003 penny is another detail worth noting. By this time, pennies were no longer the solid copper coins of earlier decades. Instead, they were made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating, accounting for about 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. This change, implemented in 1982, was primarily economic, as the cost of copper had risen. While this may sound ordinary, collectors are often keenly aware of the differences in metal composition because it can affect the coin's weight, color, and even the way it reacts over time, which in turn impacts its collectible value. What makes the 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny intriguing is that, like many modern coins, it occasionally exhibits production anomalies that make certain examples rare. Errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks can occur during the minting process. While the majority of 2003 no-mint mark pennies are standard circulation pieces, a small number display subtle doubling on the date or the lettering, a phenomenon known as a double die error. These errors are often highly sought after by collectors because they are rare and can dramatically increase the coin's value, sometimes fetching hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity and condition of the error. Even without major errors, some 2003 no-mint mark pennies in pristine condition, those graded as MS65 or higher by professional grading services, can attract significant attention. The value of these coins is tied less to scarcity in terms of mintage and more to condition, collector interest, and the coin's place within the broader Lincoln cent series. For a coin that might have once been worth just 1 cent, pristine examples or those with minor anomalies can command prices well above face value, especially among dedicated Lincoln penny collectors who seek to complete high-quality sets. There are recorded auction examples that illustrate this point. Coins in uncirculated condition, particularly with exceptional luster and strike quality, have sold for amounts ranging from $5 to $50, a notable increase from face value. Double die examples or other minting errors from the same year can sell for significantly more. A collector who understands the nuances of grading, examining the sharpness of the design, the presence of bag marks, and the clarity of the date, can spot a coin with potential premium value. In some rare cases, a coin with a significant minting error or exceptional preservation can fetch hundreds of dollars at auction, making it a small but intriguing investment. Identifying a genuine 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is straightforward if you know what to look for. Authentic coins will have a consistent copper color on the surface and a clear, well-struck design. The absence of a mint mark indicates Philadelphia origin. Counterfeit coins are extremely rare for modern pennies, but errors or alterations can sometimes be mistaken for fakes. For serious collectors, consulting professional grading guides or having a coin certified by an organization such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, known as PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, known as NGC, is the safest way to confirm authenticity and condition. Beyond monetary value, the 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny carries several fun facts that make it appealing to collectors. For instance, it belongs to a period when the mint was experimenting with ways to optimize production while maintaining quality. Some coins from this era show subtle variations in strike depth and color tone, giving each penny a slightly unique character. Additionally, this penny represents a moment in modern numismatic history when everyday coins began to be appreciated not only as currency but as artifacts reflecting American culture and history. Collectors love the 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny for its place in a long and storied series. Lincoln cents are among the most popular and widely collected coins in the United States, and each year offers subtle differences that appeal to enthusiasts. For modern pennies like this one, The challenge lies in finding examples in superior condition or those with minor anomalies that elevate them above the millions produced for circulation. It's a combination of history, artistry, and the thrill of discovery that makes this coin so compelling. Holding it in your hand connects you to over a century of American coinage, to the craftsmanship of the Philadelphia Mint, and to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln himself. As we consider the 2003 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny today, it's clear that even coins produced in the modern era can capture imagination and intrigue. From their familiar design to the subtle details that hint at rarity, these pennies invite us to look closer, to wonder what stories lie hidden in something so small. Perhaps the next time you reach into your pocket or sort through a jar of change, you might discover a coin with a history waiting to be explored. The 2003 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny reminds us that even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary secrets, and that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises just waiting to be uncovered. It's remarkable to think that a coin many people overlook could be a small piece of history, a connection to the past, and potentially a valuable collector's item. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or someone simply curious about the hidden stories in everyday objects, the 2003 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny offers a fascinating glimpse into modern American coinage. Its story encourages us to pay attention, to explore, and to appreciate the details that make something ordinary truly extraordinary. The next time you see a penny, remember that it could be more than just a piece of metal. It could be a piece of history, a collector's treasure, or a small mystery waiting for you to uncover. Welcome back. Imagine holding a piece of history in the palm of your hand, something so ordinary that you might overlook it every day, yet it has a story and value that could surprise you. Today, we're diving into the world of a coin you probably see in your change almost daily, but with a twist that makes it fascinating to collectors and history enthusiasts alike. We're talking about the 2007 mint Mark Lincoln penny, a small copper-plated cent with a story that spans over a century, from Abraham Lincoln's vision to modern coin collecting. The 2007 Lincoln penny is part of a series that has been circulating for decades, yet it carries more significance than you might expect. At first glance, it looks like any other penny, small, copper-colored, with the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right. The D mint mark, located just below the date on the obverse side, indicates that it was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the United States Mint's primary production facilities. While it may seem like just another penny, it has distinct features and historical context that make it a point of interest for collectors. The story of this coin begins in 1909, the first year the Lincoln cent was introduced. Designed to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first widely circulated U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than an allegorical figure. For nearly a century, the Lincoln penny remained largely consistent in its imagery, serving as a daily reminder of Lincoln's legacy. By 2007, millions of these coins were produced, yet each carries subtle details that reflect the era and the minting processes of the early 21st century. The year 2007 itself was not just any year for pennies. It marked a continuation of the reverse design series known as the Lincoln Memorial Cents, which had been in use since 1959. On the obverse side, the classic profile of Lincoln dominates, a design originally created by Victor David Brenner. Brenner's design was chosen for its dignified portrayal of Lincoln, capturing both the president's character and his enduring significance. The reverse side of the coin features the Lincoln Memorial, an emblem of freedom and national pride, meticulously detailed despite the coin's small size. In 2007, the U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of these coins, ensuring they were widely circulated. Yet the sheer volume does not diminish the interest collectors have in specific variations and minting nuances. One of the most interesting aspects of the 2007 penny is its composition. Unlike earlier cents made primarily of copper, this coin is composed of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating of 2.5%. This shift in materials, which began in 1982, was driven by rising copper costs and changes in coin production technology. While the change might seem minor, it affects the coin's weight, feel, and even the way it ages over time. Collectors pay close attention to these details because they can influence both the coin's durability and its market value. The zinc core also opens the door to specific error types, which can turn an everyday penny into a rare collectible. Errors on coins are one of the main reasons collectors get excited, and the 2007 penny is no exception. Among the most sought-after errors for this year are double die obverse, off-center strikes, and variations in the copper plating. A double die occurs when the coin is struck twice in slightly different positions, creating a shadow effect on the date or lettering. While these errors are rare, they are genuine mistakes of the minting process that add uniqueness and intrigue. Collectors look for subtle signs such as doubling in the Liberty inscription or the date, which can turn a common penny into a valuable item. Even minor minting anomalies, like slight misalignments or color variations, can make the 2007 penny more interesting than the millions of standard issues in circulation. Despite being mass-produced, some 2007 pennies have achieved notable market value due to their condition, rarity, and unique features. For example, uncirculated coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services can fetch prices significantly higher than their face value. While a typical 2007 penny may only be worth a few cents, pristine examples with no wear, perfect luster, and sharp details can sell for several dollars in collector markets. Coins with genuine errors or unusual minting characteristics can reach even higher values, occasionally crossing the hundreds of dollars mark, depending on the rarity and demand among collectors. Auction records and online collector sales often showcase these coins selling well above what most people would expect, proving that even modern pennies can hold surprising value. Identifying a real 2007 penny versus a fake or altered coin is crucial for anyone interested in collecting. Genuine coins have consistent weight, precise lettering, and the characteristic copper-plated zinc composition. Counterfeit coins or altered specimens may have inconsistencies in thickness, uneven plating, or poorly defined details. Using a magnifying glass to inspect the date, mint mark, and lettering can reveal subtle signs of authenticity or tampering. Professionals often rely on grading services to confirm the coin's authenticity, but even casual collectors can learn to spot the telltale features of a legitimate 2007 penny by paying attention to the design details, weight, and texture. Knowing what to look for not only protects buyers from fraud but also adds an element of detective work that makes coin collecting more engaging. Beyond its technical details, the 2007 penny has some surprising aspects that make it more than just currency. For instance, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side is intricately detailed for such a small coin. If you look closely at the Lincoln statue within the memorial, you can see the word United States of America above it, a level of precision that speaks to the craftsmanship of modern minting. Another fun fact is that while these coins are nearly identical to pennies minted in Philadelphia without a mint mark, the Denver Mint versions are part of a specific production run that collectors track carefully. This allows enthusiasts to study subtle variations in die wear, strike quality, and luster, which can differ from coin to coin even within the same year and mint. Collectors are drawn to the 2007 Lincoln penny not only for its history and potential value but also for its connection to the broader Lincoln cent series. The coin serves as a bridge between the classic designs of the early 20th century and the modern era of coin production. It represents both continuity and change, honoring Abraham Lincoln while incorporating contemporary minting technology. Collecting coins like the 2007 penny allows enthusiasts to engage with history in a tangible way, turning a simple object into a story, a lesson, and sometimes even a smart investment. The thrill of finding a near-perfect example, spotting a rare error, or simply understanding the nuances of its production makes this humble coin a favorite among numismatists of all levels. Today, the 2007 penny continues to capture the imagination of collectors. Its accessibility, combined with the potential for hidden value, makes it an ideal coin for beginners and seasoned collectors alike. Some collectors focus specifically on mint marks, others on errors or uncirculated coins, and some simply enjoy the historical connection to Abraham Lincoln. Holding one of these coins can spark curiosity about American history, the art of coin design, and the intricate process of minting. Even though it is only a penny, it has a story that spans more than a century, connecting past to present and everyday life to the world of collectors. As we wrap up, consider this. The next time you see a 2007 penny in your change, it's worth a closer look. That tiny coin in your pocket could hold a story of craftsmanship, history, and hidden value that most people overlook. Whether it's a standard circulation piece or a rare error, The 2007 Lincoln penny reminds us that even the most ordinary objects can have extraordinary significance. Keep your eyes open, examine the details, and you may discover that a simple penny is much more than it seems. Collectors know that every coin has a story, and sometimes the most unassuming ones are the most intriguing. So next time you reach into your pocket or wallet, pause and consider. Could the next penny you hold be a piece of history waiting to reveal its secrets? Welcome back. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks ordinary at first glance, just a small copper-colored circle with Abraham Lincoln's face on it. Yet it carries a story that could make it surprisingly valuable. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked coins in recent American history, the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. You might think all pennies are the same, but this one hides secrets that can thrill collectors and anyone curious about the stories behind everyday money. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll see why this penny is more than just pocket change. The 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, which has been produced since 1909. As the name suggests, this coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, on the obverse, or front, side. On the reverse, it carries the Union Shield design, which replaced the previous wheat ears and Lincoln Memorial reverses in 2010. Coins with no mint mark are typically produced at the Philadelphia Mint, distinguishing them from coins struck in Denver or San Francisco. At first glance, this penny may seem like any other 2014 Lincoln cent, but careful collectors know that the absence of a mint mark, coupled with subtle production quirks, can create rare and sought-after variations. Understanding the context of 2014 is essential to appreciating this coin. By this year, the Lincoln cent had undergone several design updates, with the 2010 Union Shield reverse becoming standard. The U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies annually, yet even in mass production, errors, unusual die variations, and coins with exceptional condition can stand out. The 2014 penny was struck to continue circulating legal tender for everyday transactions, but the combination of design, mintage, and certain anomalies makes it worth examining closely. This penny is made primarily of zinc, coated with a thin layer of copper, a composition that has been standard for pennies since 1982. Weighing just 2.5 grams, it carries the familiar reddish hue that most Americans associate with Lincoln cents. The obverse features a detailed profile of Lincoln, designed to reflect dignity and clarity, while the reverse showcases the Union Shield, a symbol of national unity. What collectors look for in this coin are minor variations in the strike, differences in the copper coating, and sometimes minting errors that can transform an everyday penny into a valuable collectible. Some examples of rare variations include double dies, off-center strikes, or unusually strong copper luster that has survived in uncirculated condition. So why is the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny particularly interesting? While it is not among the oldest coins, its rarity is rooted in condition and specific anomalies rather than age. Coins that show pristine details, sharp rims, and a flawless surface can attract attention from collectors who specialize in modern Lincoln cents. Additionally, some 2014 pennies experienced subtle die cracks or repunched mint marks during production. Even though these errors are minor compared to classic errors like the 1955 double die, they still catch the eye of numismatists. Coins without a mint mark also carry a kind of nostalgic appeal, connecting them to Philadelphia, the birthplace of the first U.S. mint, and to the long tradition of Lincoln cents to illustrate its value. Consider a few examples from collectors and auction houses. A 2014 no-mint Mark penny in circulated condition might only be worth face value, which is 1 cent. But an uncirculated specimen graded MS 65 or higher can fetch several dollars or more from collectors. Exceptional examples with unique die variations or errors have been listed in specialized coin marketplaces for significantly higher prices, sometimes exceeding $50, depending on rarity and visual appeal. While this is not the kind of coin that routinely sells for tens of thousands, it demonstrates the principle that even modern pennies can be collectible under the right circumstances. Collectors who understand grading, luster, and minor errors are willing to pay for coins that stand out from the billions produced each year. Identifying a real 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is straightforward if you know what to look for. First, the absence of a mint mark on the obverse side above the date indicates Philadelphia origin. Authentic coins have consistent details, such as Lincoln's hair strands, the rim edge, and the lettering, which should be crisp and evenly spaced. The reverse Union shield should have clear lines and no signs of casting or unusual texture that might suggest a counterfeit. Weight is another clue. A genuine zinc core penny weighs approximately 2.5 grams. Some fakes attempt to replicate rare modern errors, so careful comparison to verified images and using a magnifying glass or loupe can help collectors distinguish real coins from forgeries. There are also some fun and surprising details about this coin that most people overlook. For example, the Union shield on the reverse carries 13 vertical stripes representing the original 13 states, with a horizontal bar at the top symbolizing Congress. This design element is a nod to national unity, something deeply tied to Lincoln's legacy. Additionally, the Lincoln cent has historically been the longest-running coin series in the United States, surpassing a century of continuous production. Holding a 2014 penny connects you to a lineage of coins stretching back to 1909, a fascinating historical thread for collectors who enjoy the stories behind everyday objects. Collectors love this penny today for several reasons. Its modernity allows for careful inspection of die details and surface quality, making it ideal for those starting a Lincoln cent collection or looking for well-preserved modern examples. Coins in top condition are scarce because most pennies enter circulation immediately, experiencing wear, scratches, and discoloration. By finding a coin with original luster and no signs of handling, collectors can preserve a piece of history that remains untouched for nearly a decade. The combination of historical significance, design appeal, and the challenge of finding an uncirculated specimen makes the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny appealing to both new and seasoned collectors. In addition to physical appeal, there is also an educational aspect. Coins like the 2014 penny teach collectors to pay attention to production details, mint practices, and subtle differences that influence value. Understanding modern minting techniques and spotting anomalies helps build skills that are transferable to older, rarer coins. Even if the 2014 penny is not a major investment, it serves as a stepping stone into the fascinating world of numismatics, where careful observation and knowledge can uncover hidden treasures. So, the next time you reach into your pocket and pull out a seemingly ordinary penny, consider the story it might tell. The 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is a reminder that value is not just about age, but about rarity, condition, and the subtle variations that make each coin unique. It challenges our perception of what is worth collecting and shows that even the most common items can hold hidden intrigue. If you are a collector or simply a curious observer, take a moment to examine pennies in your possession. Look for those with flawless surfaces, strong luster, and no mint mark. Study the lines on the Union shield, the details in Lincoln's profile, and even minor anomalies that could make one coin stand out from billions of others. In doing so, you not only connect with history, but you participate in a tradition of appreciation, patience, and discovery that has captivated collectors for over a century. So while the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny might not command the eye-popping prices of classic errors from the early 20th century, it still carries value in ways both tangible and intangible. It represents craftsmanship, continuity, and the joy of discovery. And perhaps most importantly, it reminds us that every coin has a story waiting to be uncovered. Keep your eyes open, examine carefully, and remember that sometimes the extraordinary hides in the most ordinary places. Next time you spot a penny on the ground or in your change, pause for a moment. Could it be one of these subtle modern rarities? Could it carry the potential to delight a collector or spark curiosity about the history of U.S. coinage? The answer may surprise you. Every coin has a tale, and the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is proof that even the newest pennies have a history worth exploring. The story doesn't end here. Coins like this invite you to look closer, to ask questions, and to learn more about the art and science of minting. They remind us that history is not just in textbooks, but in everyday objects we touch and hold. So next time you think a penny is just a penny, remember the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent and the hidden stories it carries. What you discover might just change the way you see the coins in your own pocket. Welcome back. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks ordinary at first glance, but holds a story and a potential value that could surprise even seasoned collectors. Today, we are diving into a coin that might seem modern and familiar, yet has captured the attention of numismatists across the country. This is the 2015 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin that represents more than just a cent. It represents a subtle chapter in the history of American coinage, and for some, a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. By the end of this video, you'll understand why collectors are so intrigued by it, and how a coin produced just a few years ago can still spark excitement in the numismatic world. The coin we are focusing on is the 2015 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent. At first glance, it may appear just like any other penny you've seen in your pocket or in a jar at home. It bears the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who has been featured on the penny since 1909 to commemorate the centennial of his birth. On the reverse side, it showcases the Union Shield design, which was introduced in 2010 to symbolize unity and strength. While the coin itself is still very much part of everyday circulation, the 2015 no-mint Mark version carries subtle characteristics that have made it noteworthy for collectors. The story of the 2015 Lincoln penny begins with its production at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most historic mints in the United States. Unlike coins from the Denver Mint, which carry a D mint mark, the Philadelphia-produced pennies from this year are generally without any mint mark at all. This is why the coin is referred to as a no-mint mark penny. In 2015, billions of pennies were struck, and the production was part of the ongoing commitment by the U.S. Mint to supply small-denomination coins for daily use. The Lincoln cent, over a century old at this point, had long been one of the most recognized and widely circulated coins in the world. But even a coin that seems ordinary can have nuances that make it fascinating. From a design perspective, the 2015 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny continues the Union Shield motif on its reverse. The shield consists of 13 vertical stripes, representing the original states, bound together by a horizontal bar that reads E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one. This imagery emphasizes the idea of national unity, a theme that resonates deeply in American history. On the obverse, Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, remains unchanged, showing the president in profile, solemn and dignified. The coin is composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating, a change implemented in 1982 to reduce production costs, meaning the 2015 penny is 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. This modern composition affects both its weight and its color, giving it a slightly different feel than the older, mostly copper pennies. What makes the 2015 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny especially interesting to collectors is not the design itself, but the subtle production anomalies that occasionally appear. Like all modern coins, minor errors can occur during the minting process. These errors might include off-center strikes, doubled dies, or irregular planchet flaws. While most 2015 pennies are perfectly ordinary, the rare examples that exhibit these errors can carry a surprising premium on the collector market. Even a slight doubling of the letters in Liberty or In God We Trust can make a coin significantly more desirable. For collectors, spotting these minute details is like uncovering a hidden signature, something that sets a coin apart from millions of others produced the same year. In addition to errors, condition plays a huge role in a penny's value. A 2015 no-mint Mark penny in circulation is worth only its face value, but one in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially if it has been professionally graded, can attract attention from collectors. Coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC examine coins for wear, strike quality, and eye appeal, assigning grades that can dramatically affect a coin's market value. For example, a 2015 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that is graded MS-70, meaning it is flawless under magnification, can sell for significantly more than a typical circulated coin. The combination of low mintage errors, immaculate condition, and even subtle differences in minting can make a modern coin surprisingly collectible. Real-world examples illustrate just how collectors respond to these coins. On recent auction platforms and numismatic marketplaces, you can find examples of 2015 no-mint Mark pennies selling for anywhere from a few dollars to over $100 if they exhibit a rare error or are in mint condition. One particular example involved a coin with a slight off-center strike, which sold for more than 50 times its face value. While this is far from the millions fetched by older rarities, it demonstrates how even a coin produced in a year that seems ordinary can capture the attention of enthusiasts. These transactions also highlight an important principle. Collectors are not just buying the coin itself, they are buying the story, the rarity, and the uniqueness that comes with it. Identifying a genuine 2015 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is straightforward if you know what to look for, but careful observation is key. First, check for the absence of a mint mark, which should appear under the date on the obverse side. The coin should have the familiar Union shield on the reverse and a consistent weight and size typical of modern pennies, approximately 2.5 grams and 19.05 millimeters in diameter. Look closely for any anomalies in the strike or design details if you are searching for a collectible example. Counterfeits of modern pennies are rare, but coins with fake grading or doctored errors do exist, so verification from a reputable grading service can provide peace of mind. Even small signs of tampering, such as altered lettering or added scratches, can indicate a coin is not authentic. Beyond its numismatic appeal, the 2015 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny has some fun and surprising details. For instance, although most people assume pennies are made entirely of copper, this coin is mostly zinc, reflecting the evolving nature of coin production in the 21st century. It is also interesting to note that the Union shield design was chosen to replace the wheat ears reverse that had been in circulation for decades, symbolizing a modern take on unity while preserving a sense of historical continuity. Another subtle point is that the Philadelphia Mint, responsible for these no-mint mark coins, is the oldest operating mint in the United States, established in 1792, linking a coin produced in 2015 directly to over 2 centuries of American coinage tradition. Collectors love the 2015 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny today for several reasons. It represents a bridge between everyday pocket change and the world of numismatic exploration. Its design carries historical symbolism, its composition reflects modern manufacturing, and the occasional rare error adds a layer of intrigue. For some, collecting these pennies is about preserving a piece of American history, while for others, it is about the thrill of discovery and the potential for future value. The coin's accessibility also makes it appealing. Millions were minted, but finding one in pristine condition or with a subtle minting anomaly provides a sense of achievement and excitement. As we wrap up, it's worth remembering that the 2015 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny may look ordinary, but it holds lessons in history, design, and the subtle ways that even modern coins can become collectibles. It reminds us that rarity is not always about age or obscurity. Sometimes, it is about what the eye can discover, what the mind can appreciate, and what the collector values most. Next time you hold a seemingly ordinary penny, take a moment to examine it closely. You might just be holding a small piece of history with a story to tell. And who knows, it could be a coin that sparks curiosity, conversation, or even a connection to the wider world of American numismatics, proving that fascination and value can come from the most unexpected places. The story of this coin doesn't end here. Every penny minted carries with it the weight of history, design choices, and the chance for discovery. The 2015 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny may not be the rarest or most expensive coin in the world, but its value lies in the story it tells and the curiosity it inspires. Keep your eyes open, examine your coins, and you may find that the ordinary can often be extraordinary. The next time you reach for a penny, consider what secrets it might hold and what surprises might await in your very own collection.